Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Nixie Bobs. I am so sorry for the major delay in Thunderbirds this week. It was New Year's Eve when this was on, and I've just had so many, I would have recorded it at the earlier point in the week, but then there were people in the house, and yesterday I spent yesterday taking the tree down and putting boxes back in the loft. So I'm just really not with it. I've had bad anxiety troubles since like Tuesday. Essentially what I did was I made an expensive purchase, and unfortunately expensive purchases do set me off. I don't know why. I go into panic mode, and then I start to think, oh my god, I can't afford this, can't do this, and then the actual thought of buying it as a whole, anxiety, and then after that, anxiety, and then thinking of paying for it, anxiety, and I had a very sleepless night last night, so I'm probably running on about 3 to 4 hours sleep right now. I don't know how. Thank god for makeup to hide all the dark circles. I'm in pink, look, pink dress, a little bit of Lady Penelope going on today, but that's all cool because we're here to discuss and talk about the penultimate half-series episode for this series of Thunderbirds Are Go. It is the mid-season finale on Saturday, tomorrow, and I read that and went, ah, because I'd finally just gotten into a pattern of getting really excited and really ready for it again, and now I'm back to square one where it's going, oh, So yeah, I feel a bit bummed out, seriously bummed out. But I do think our old friend the mechanic is back, and there was a teaser posted on the Facebook page earlier about, was this the Hood's plan all along? So obviously something's going down tomorrow, and it's all cool. I have been teasing on Twitter as well before we go into the episode, because to be honest, I actually haven't got a lot on it. And I actually watched this Sunday afternoon. I wasn't in the house Sunday morning. I was not out drunk, I don't drink. But I don't like New Year. Like, you saw my New Year Grinch photo. I'm not one for New Year at all. I love Christmas, hate New Year. The Kipling monkey is going to be going as well. I keep looking at him and thinking, oh, but yeah, he's got to go away now, I think, or Epiphany. But I do actually keep a little Christmas decoration on the side. There will be tangents. Getting back to what I was saying, throughout the course of the week, I just suddenly had, like, I'm not one for fan fiction, I'm not one for doing sort of anything like that, like creating scenes and stuff like that, but I just had this random idea for a Thunderbirds Are Go episode come to mind, and it's come to fruition in my head, and I keep thinking about it, and I've actually written one half of it down because it's 2 parts. It would be a 2-parter. I'm not going to talk about it. I keep my ideas firmly locked in my head unless someone wants to bring them to genuine fruition. So don't ask about it. Just know that I have a good idea. It's probably not going to happen. It does involve the mechanic and the Hood, but that's me creating, and as a writer, that's what I do. I create stuff. So, you know. So Saturday, New Year's Eve's episode was called Fight or Flight. Was it Fight or Flight? Was it definitely that one? Because I just feel so lost in my own self now, Saturday. No, you know what? I watched it Saturday morning as it happened. I did. Like, the first time I've actually watched it as it happens since, like, episode 1 of this series. So a cargo claw ship. It's like, you know, the two, like, Claw Kicker's channel and stuff like that? It's like an episode based on Claw Kicker, I think. The ship turns against its people. Apparently it's not the first one that's done it. Bursting the Zeppelin that they're flying in, a claw on a Zeppelin flying that's now got a burst, that's lowering oxygen, that's against its people, that every time it detects a movement, goes to get them. Who created that? Who in the future made that an idea? Yeah, you deserve to be fired. It's a giant bomb. I think it's a giant bomb. It's leaking fuel. Boom! It will go, eventually. So we think that everyone on board has gotten out, but as it turns out later, the 2 people we see at the start of the episode, still on board, is on a collision course for a local town. So essentially, again, we're noting this and we're stopping a disaster before it happens, as opposed to calling international rescue, which, can I say, my idea for an episode would do. So we end up launching Scott and Virgil. So it's a Scott and Virgil mission. I was very happy about this. But Scott can't, originally his idea is to attach cables from Thunderbird 1 and to guide it away. He can't do this, so Virgil tries nudging it. That's too dangerous. So Scott eventually ends up going on board this flying bomb-like Zeppelin, and he wants to sink it into a river, basically. It's very much echoing a certain episode of 24 from series 2 where you've got Jack and George and they're flying a bomb to them. Some of you may not have seen 24. For some of you out there, 24 is too old for you. It's fine. How do I feel about 24 next series? I think I'll give it a watch next week, in case you're wondering. Just because we're on about stuff. There will be tangents. If you've been here a while, there will always be tangents on this channel. I like tangents. I tangent. I can't keep my mind on one thing. I've very much got Ross Noble's state of mind sometimes, I think. So Scott's setting it on a collision to sink into a river, and just when we think it's on all over, Ramirez and Dixon, the ones we saw from the start, go, we're here, we're still here, don't sink it, we don't want to die. So this creates another issue, of course, which is why KO is also launched. Virgil is supposed to be draining the fuel onto Thunderbird 2 to make it a lot less dangerous, but he can't get his arm into the little fuel arm that he's got coming out of TB2. So Scott then has to go and play Danger Man and jump onto the top of the Zeppelin, get it into place, nearly fall off and lose his life in the process. Typical Scott Tracy thing that we've seen now. He's like such a daredevil. I love that they've brought that into his character. I say that a lot, but I love that they've kind of brought that element in as opposed to just not being so serious. Like the jetpacks are cool. Everyone loves a jetpack. I agree with jetpacks in the future. So while Scott's doing this, KO is working on getting the rescuers out. This is where we see her kind of gymnastic and movement ability. She flips and trips and does all this stuff to make sure that she can avoid it. But Ramirez and Dixon go, you know, we can't do that. We're not that clever. Yeah, you need to rethink your approach there, KO. So what KO does essentially is uses herself as the bait. She is the one who makes the movements to keep the claw on her. So Ramirez and Dixon can get out and get to, is it Scott that gets them out? I can't remember. KO does eventually get both of them out and herself out without certain death that would happen with a claw that wants to kill people that sees movement in people. Who made that? Who seriously made that idea up? It's a fun idea, but like, who made the idea of a Zeppelin with a claw in the future? Scott has seconds to get out essentially before the mountain goes boom on a mountainside and goes poof. Although we are getting hints of Attack of the Alligators, which will be done once this goes to mid-series break, because I've been promising it to you guys for like 6 months now. At the end, is it Brains or Alan bring out a claw machine and everyone's just looking going, no, 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 or is it Gordon? I don't know which one. One of them brings out a claw machine. Oh, look what we got, look what we got. Remember that scene in the Attack of the Alligators where they've had the big real alligators chasing the puppets and then Tintin brings Alan a pygmy alligator for his birthday? Remember that? We'll be discussing that in some months to come. But Brains, it wasn't Brains. Brains is actually, Brains is on Thunderbird 5 in this episode, right? He's doing some maintenance with John. He looks like a traffic cone in that orange thing. He's not dealing well with his sickness, but he looks like a traffic cone. Literally like a traffic cone. Poor sod. John's spacesuit is tight. Exactly what are you insinuating there, Scott Tracy? What are you trying to tell us? And John, no comeback? Why not? Disappoint me. I thought you'd be more witty than that. I wrote this point before knowing what was coming for this episode tomorrow. I want to see Virgil do something physically. Like, seems like in recent episodes he's done a lot of piloting and we haven't seen him go out with these big green things on, and apparently we're getting that tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Is it it's him and someone else getting ready in the pod of Thunderbird 2. He's getting all his big gear stuff on and someone else is next to him getting ready in a pod. So I'm really looking forward to that because I love it when he does stuff. He's obviously introduced and shown as being the biggest and the strongest brother, the biggest physically as well as being the most poetic and artistic and having all the talent. Where see in this episode just how much of a departure KO is from Tintin. And it's exactly to the point where I say to you, I just identified Tintin and KO as two completely different women. Maybe KO is Tintin's sister. That's the way I kind of look at it. It's not an insult, but I know they're trying to bring KO up to a modern day standard of a woman, but it's really in episodes like this where you kind of go, she's so different. It's not a bad thing, but at the same time I do miss kind of the more graceful elegance that maybe Tintin had as opposed to what KO has. KO is more about catching the bad guy. Tintin was about that, but she was definitely a woman of the 60s. Andabad, Andabad rings a bell, but why? Andabad was the name of the town, but it rings a bell. And I've tried to unscramble it and think, is it an anagram? It just rings a bell. Andabad has to mean something. Tell me if it means, it just, in terms of Thunderbird's chronology or something like that, I feel like there's something in there. So if you know, tell me, or am I just being crazy? It looks like as of now they're moving it back to a morning slot, but maybe that's just because there's stuff going on during the day with ITV. Now that we know that it's going to be the mid-season finale tomorrow, for all I know, they could move it back to the afternoon slot once it comes back for its second half of series. So I'm interested to see exactly where they're going to go with that. I'm not too happy about the morning slot. Alright, it's great for me in terms of if I'm getting up and watching it and then writing notes, but in terms of how do I feel it bears on the audience? I think it's going to relegate and lower the audience. I think they've definitely, as I've said before, had probably more success in having it in the slot it is in terms of familial watching as opposed to putting on in the morning. Thank you everyone for being here and watching this very delayed review recap of Thunderbirds Are Go. If you'd like to subscribe, please do. If you'd like to comment, as always, I always love to hear what you have to say, please do. I'm actually going to get to watch this and review it on the day tomorrow. For once, in weeks, I don't have to go anywhere. It's lovely. It is literally lovely. For the last, pretty much since December hit, it's now January of course, but since December hit, it's suddenly gone boom in my life and I've gone, I have no time! So it may come out Sunday as opposed to Saturday because I know I've got beauty boxes due tomorrow and viewing figures wise they do more, so I'll probably put that out before that, so keep a watch out for it. I'm assuming and presuming and knowing pretty much that the mechanic and the hood are involved some way. I'm hoping it's going to be a big one with everybody involved, but we'll see. Give John something to do and I'm a happy girl. I'll see everyone again for another Thunderbirds video and we'll discuss what's going to happen in the mid-season break in the next edition. Bye everyone.